The wind is a physical thing, a solid wall of ice and fury that throws me against a tree. My ribs scream in protest, a sharp, hot pain that steals the breath from my lungs. Snow, driven horizontal, stings my exposed cheeks like 1,000 tiny needles. I can't see, I can't hear anything over the howl of the storm. I'm lost, truly, deeply lost in this vast, unforgiving wilderness, a place I thought I knew. I came here for the quiet, for the solitude, to finish my research on alpine lichen, a pursuit so niche it was the perfect excuse to disappear. But the storm came without warning, a white monster that swallowed the trail, swallowed the sun, swallowed everything. Now something else is out here with me. It's not the storm. It's a sound that cuts through the gale, a low, guttural howl that isn't the wind. It's too deliberate, too hungry. I push off the tree, my legs burning with the effort. Every step is a gamble. The ground is a treacherous mix of slick rock and deep powder, and my cheap hiking boots are soaked through, my toes numb blocks of ice. The howl comes again, closer this time, and it's answered by another off to my left. They're hunting. I am the prey. Panic, cold and sharp, lances through me. I run. I don't know where I'm going, only that it's away from the sound. I trip over a hidden root, sprawling forward into a drift that buries me to my chest. The snow is shockingly cold against my face, and for a moment I just lie there, the fight draining out of me. It would be so easy to just stop, to let the cold take me, but then I hear it, the crunch of paws on frozen ground, heavy and deliberate. They're here. I scramble, digging my hands into the snow, clawing my way forward like a desperate animal. I burst out of the drift and see it, a dark shape against the swirling white, massive and low to the ground. Not a deer, not a bear. It's a wolf bigger than any I have ever seen, its fur the color of charcoal and shadow. Its eyes catch the faint light from the sky, and they glow with a terrifying, intelligent amber. Another one flanks it, then a third. They move with a coordinated silence that is more horrifying than any snarl. They are hurting me, driving me deeper into the woods, away from any semblance of the trail I knew. I stumble on, my lungs on fire, my heart a frantic drum against my ribs. The forest thickens, the ancient pines heavy with snow, their branches forming a dense canopy that blocks out what little light remains. I'm being funneled into a trap, I know it, but I have no choice but to run. The ground slopes downward sharply, and I lose my footing, sliding on a carpet of wet leaves and ice. I tumble, the world a sickening blur of white and brown, until I slam into something hard, a fallen log. Pain explodes in my shoulder, and I cry out, a raw, ragged sound that is instantly swallowed by the storm. I lie there, dazed and broken, waiting for the end. I can hear them now, they're panting, the soft pad of their paws as they circle me. I close my eyes, bracing for the first bite. It doesn't come. Instead, a new sound fills the air. It's a growl, but it's not like the others. It's deeper, resonant, a vibration that I feel in the ground beneath me, in the bones of my skull. It's a sound of absolute, unquestionable authority. The hunting wolves go silent. I force my eyes open. Through the swirling snow, a new shape emerges. He is larger than the others, impossibly so. He stands on a rise of ground, a black mountain of muscle and fur, his silhouette stark against the storm-gray sky. He is not just big, he is ancient, a primordial creature carved from shadow and night. His fur is the pure, deep black of a starless midnight, so dark it seems to drink the light around it. He moves down the slope, each step a deliberate, powerful movement that exudes a terrifying confidence. The other wolves, the ones that were hunting me, shrink back, their tails tucked, their bodies low to the ground. They cower before him. He ignores them, his focus is entirely on me. He stops a few feet away, and the sheer size of him is overwhelming. His shoulders are broad and thick with muscle, his chest deep, his paws huge. I can feel the heat radiating from his body, a furnace in the frozen landscape. He lowers his great head, his dark eyes, not amber like the others, but a deep, fathomless brown locking onto mine. There is no madness in them, no mindless hunger. There is only a chilling, calculating intelligence. He takes a slow step closer, then another. I am frozen, a mouse before a god. He sniffs the air, his nostrils flaring, and then he does the one thing I never expected. He leans in, his massive head descending toward my throat. I flinch, squeezing my eyes shut, a silent scream trapped in my chest. I feel the ghost of his breath, hot and smelling of pine and wet earth, against my neck. He is scenting me. A low rumble starts in his chest, a sound that is not a threat but something else entirely, something possessive. He pulls back, his dark eyes studying me with an intensity that feels like a physical touch. The decision is made. I don't know what the decision is, but I know it has been made. He turns his head and lets out a single, sharp bark. The other wolves scatter, disappearing back into the trees as if they were never there. Then he looks at me again, and with a gentleness that belies his terrifying appearance, he nudges my broken shoulder with his nose. It's not a push, it's a command. Get up, follow me, and I know with a certainty that defies all logic that I will. Hey viewers, if unexplained mysteries fascinate you, hit subscribe. Now back to the story. The world fades in and out after that. I remember the crushing weight of exhaustion, the searing pain in my shoulder, and the steady, rhythmic sound of his paws crunching through the snow just ahead of me. He never looked back, but I knew he was there, a dark guide leading me through the blinding white. I stumbled after him, my body moving on pure instinct, the primal part of my brain understanding that to follow was to live, to fall behind was to die. The next thing I know with any clarity is warmth. A deep, penetrating heat that sinks into my frozen limbs, chasing away the numbness. I'm lying on something soft and thick, a fur rug of immense size. The air smells of wood smoke, old timber, and him, that same scent of pine and earth and wildness. I force my eyes open. I'm in a cabin, a massive, single-room structure built from whole logs, the chinking between them dark with age. A stone fireplace, big enough for me to stand up in, occupies one entire wall, and a roaring fire casts dancing shadows across the room. The light glints off a crude but effective-looking axe head resting near the hearth, and on a heavy wooden table, a whetstone and a long, wicked-looking hunting knife. There are no modern conveniences, no electricity, no running water that I can see. It's a place from another time, and he is here. He's lying on the rug a few feet from me, not a wolf anymore. The change is a ripple of impossible reality, a silent, violent unfolding of flesh and bone that happens in the space between one heartbeat and the next. One moment he is the massive, black-furred predator that saved me, his form a testament to primal power. The next, the fur recedes as if sinking back into his skin, melting away like shadows in the dawn. The sound is not of cracking or breaking, but of a deep, resonant hum, the sound of the universe reordering itself on a fundamental level. His limbs lengthen, the haunches stretching into powerful human legs, the paws reshaping into hands with long, capable fingers. His spine straightens, pulling him upward from the four-legged beast into a man. It's over in seconds. Where the wolf lay, a man now kneels on the rug. He is naked, utterly without shame, his body a landscape of hard muscle and old scars that tell a story of a life filled with violence. A pale, jagged mark runs from his left shoulder down across his pectoral muscle, another slices diagonally across his ribs. He is power incarnate, every line of his form speaking of dominance and control. The firelight catches the dusting of dark hair on his chest, the hollows of his hips, the sheer, intimidating breadth of his shoulders. He rises to his feet in a single, fluid motion, and I have to crane my neck back to look up at him. He towers over me, a living shadow cast by the fire, but it's his eyes that hold me captive. They are the same deep, fathomless brown from the wolf, and in them I see the same chilling, calculating intelligence. There is no confusion, no disorientation from the shift. Only a steady, unwavering focus directed entirely at me. He takes a step forward, and I flinch, pressing myself back into the thick fur of the rug. My shoulder screams in protest, a sharp, white-hot agony that brings tears to my eyes. He stops, his gaze dropping to the injury. A faint line appears between his brows. It's dislocated, he says. His voice is a low rumble, the same resonant baritone as the growl that stilled the forest. It's a voice used to being obeyed. He doesn't ask. He states it as a fact. He moves again, this time kneeling beside me. The heat from his body is a palpable force, a furnace that warms the air between us, chasing away the lingering chill of the storm. He reaches for my shoulder, and my reaction is instinctual. I slap his hand away, a pathetic, weak gesture that does nothing to stop him. "Don't touch me," I gasp, my voice a ragged whisper. He pauses, his hand hovering in the air. He looks from my face to my shoulder and back again, his expression unreadable. "It will heal faster if it's set, the pain will be less. I don't care, just stay away." My fear is a living thing, a coiled snake in my gut. This is the monster from the massacre, I know it. The size, the power, the sheer presence of him, it's the same. He's the one they were all bowing to, the one who commanded the slaughter. He's the midnight executioner, and he saved me. The contradiction is a short circuit in my brain. He ignores my protest. His movements are swift and sure. One hand grips my shoulder, the heat of his palm searing through my thin, damp shirt. The other takes hold of my arm just below the elbow. "Brace yourself," he warns, his voice devoid of emotion. "This will hurt." I have no time to prepare, no time to even draw a breath. He rotates my arm, a quick, expert movement, and then there is a sickening pop, a grinding slide of bone returning to its socket. Pain, blinding and absolute, explodes through me, a white-hot supernova that eclipses everything. A cry tears from my throat, raw and agonized. For a moment the world goes black at the edges. When my vision clears, he is already moving away. He walks to a heavy wooden chest in the corner of the cabin, his back to me. I watch him, my breath coming in ragged sobs, the pain in my shoulder already subsiding from a shrieking agony to a deep, throbbing ache. He returns with a roll of clean linen and a clay pot. He kneels again, unscrewing the lid of the pot. A sharp, clean scent of herbs and something medicinal fills the air. He scoops a green, pungent-smelling salve onto his fingers. "Hold still," he commands. This time I don't fight him. I'm too exhausted, too broken. His touch is gentle but firm as he smears the cool salve over my shoulder. The sensation is immediate, a soothing coolness that seeps into the muscle and bone, chasing away the last vestiges of fire. He works with a practiced efficiency, his fingers deft and sure. As he wraps the linen around my shoulder, his knuckles brush against my neck. A jolt goes through me, an electric current that has nothing to do with pain and everything to do with proximity. I can feel the faint, steady thrum of his pulse in his wrist. I can smell his scent more clearly now, not just pine and earth, but something darker, spicier, something uniquely him. It's intoxicating, dangerous. My hand, seemingly of its own volition, drifts to my chest, to the small leather pouch that hangs on a thin cord around my neck. I clutch it through my shirt, my fingers tightening around the hard, irregular shape within, the artifact, the reason I'm here, the reason my friends are dead. His eyes follow my movement. He finishes tying the bandage, his gaze lingering on my hand where it grips the pouch. The air in the cabin grows thick, heavy with unspoken questions. He knows, of course he knows. He rises to his feet, his imposing frame once again blocking the firelight. "You need rest," he says, his voice flat. "We leave at first light." Leave for where?" My voice is stronger now, the fear momentarily overridden by a surge of adrenaline. "Who are you? What was that thing? What do you want from me?" He turns his back on me, walking to the table and picking up a pair of worn, dark trousers. He pulls them on, the simple act somehow imbued with the same grace and power as his shift. They were rogues, disgraced, exiled, they hunt you because of what you carry. He faces me again, his expression as hard and unyielding as granite, and I want what they want, the artifact. My blood runs cold, so it's true, he didn't save me, he just wants the prize for himself. "No," I say, the word a defiant whisper, "you can't have it." A ghost of a smile touches his lips, but it holds no humor, it's a predator's smile. "You are in no position to bargain, little thief. You are a witness to a crime against my pack, you stole something that belongs to me, and you are now the bait in a trap for my enemies. Your life is mine to do with as I please, and I please for you to give me the artifact," he says. He says it so softly, the words a velvet caress that are more terrifying than any shout. "Your life is mine to do with as I please, and I please for you to give me the artifact." The finality in his tone is a physical blow, stealing the air from my lungs. He's not asking, he's not negotiating. He is stating the new, immutable reality of my existence. My fingers tighten around the leather pouch, the only solid thing in a world that has dissolved into chaos. It's my last link to my old life, a life of code and algorithms, of late-night pizza and arguing with my friends about sci-fi movies, a life that is now a graveyard of memories. "No," I repeat, the word stronger this time, infused with a desperate, brittle courage. "I don't know who you are. I don't know what this is, but I'm not giving it to you." He stares at me, his expression unreadable, but the air crackles with a new tension. The fire pops, sending a shower of sparks up the chimney. For a long moment, the only sounds are the wind howling outside and the frantic drumming of my own heart. I expect him to strike, to rip the pouch from my neck, to finally show me the true face of the midnight executioner. Instead, he lets out a slow, measured breath. Sound of profound, ancient weariness. "You saw what they are," he says, his voice dropping even lower, taking on a gravelly texture. "You saw what they did to your friends, the ones who hunt your worst. They are madness without purpose, rage without leash. They will tear this world apart to get that thing. They will tear you apart." He takes a step closer, and this time I hold my ground, my body rigid with a terror so profound it's almost calm. I at least have a purpose. I have a kingdom to protect. The artifact is a key, a weapon. In their hands it is an apocalypse. In mine, he trails off, his gaze sweeping over me from my disheveled hair to my bare, dirty feet to the hand clutching the artifact. In mine it is a chance for order. Order, the word is a bitter laugh that escapes my lips before I can stop it. "You call that massacre in the alleyway order, you call what you are order." His jaw tightens, a muscle feathering along the hinge. "That was justice. They broke our most sacred laws. They exposed us, they threatened the safety of every one of my kind. The punishment was fitting." His eyes are like chips of flint, hard and sharp. "You were an unfortunate complication, a witness I should have erased." The words hit me like ice water. Should have erased, so I didn't heat. The question hangs between us, unasked but screaming in the silence. "Why didn't you?" I whisper, my voice barely audible. His gaze flickers, just for a second, a crack in the granite facade. "You have something of mine," he says, the words a deflection, but I hear the lie in them, or not a lie but not the whole truth. He turns away from me again, his movements sharp with impatience. He strides to a small, carved cupboard and pulls out a dark woolen blanket and a bar of soap. He tosses them onto the fur rug beside me. "Clean yourself up, we leave at dawn. If you cannot keep up, I will leave you for the rogues. They are less than an hour behind us." The threat is clear, cold, and effective. My survival instinct, the one thing that has kept me running through the forest, kicks in. I need him. I hate it, I despise it, but I need him to survive the next few hours. With my good arm, I pull the blanket around my shoulders, the rough wool a meager shield against his overwhelming presence and the lingering chill. I watch him as he moves around the small cabin, efficiently dousing the fire and securing the shutters. He moves with a predator's grace, every motion economical and purposeful. He is completely at ease in his nakedness, his body a weapon he wears as comfortably as his skin. I force myself to look away, my cheeks burning. I fumble with the soap and a small basin of water he left, washing the grime from my face and hands. The cool water is a shock, but it helps clear my head. The pain in my shoulder is now a dull throb thanks to his salve. I am a mass of contradictions, terrified of him, yet feeling a bizarre sense of safety under his protection, hating him for the massacre, yet grudgingly thankful he saved my life, repulsed by his power, yet undeniably drawn to the raw, magnetic force of him. It's a sickness, a twisted form of Stockholm Syndrome, and I hate myself for it. When he is finished, he pulls on a simple black tunic that does little to hide the powerful lines of his body. He stands by the door, waiting, a silent, imposing silhouette. The gray light of dawn is just beginning to seep through the cracks in the shutters. "Can you walk?" he asks. It's not a question of concern, but of logistics. "I think so," I say, pushing myself up from the rug. My legs are shaky and a wave of dizziness washes over me, but I force myself to stand. I will not show weakness in front of him, not if I can help it. He opens the door and the cold morning air rushes in, sharp and clean, carrying the scent of damp earth and pine. The forest is quiet in the pre-dawn hush, the storm having passed. He steps outside, not looking back to see if I follow. He knows I will. I wrap the blanket tighter around myself and follow him out into the new day. The journey is brutal. The ground is uneven and littered with slick, wet leaves. Every jarring step sends a fresh wave of pain through my shoulder, and I have to bite my lip to keep from crying out. He sets a relentless pace, his long legs eating up the ground, his dark form a stark shadow against the green and gray of the woods. He doesn't speak. He doesn't look back. He simply moves forward, expecting me to keep up. For the first hour I do, I push through the pain, focusing on the rhythmic crunch of our footsteps, the scent of him that lingers in the air, a constant reminder of the predator leading me. But my strength is finite. I'm running on fumes, on adrenaline and sheer terror. Soon my steps begin to falter. I stumble, catching myself on a moss-covered tree trunk. He stops, turning his head slightly, his profile sharp and impatient. "We don't have time for this." "I'm trying," I pant, leaning against the tree, my chest heaving. Black spots dance in my vision. He lets out an irritated sigh, a sound like grinding stones. He closes the distance between us in 2 long strides. Before I can react, he scoops me up into his arms. One powerful arm slides behind my back, the other hooks under my knees. I gasp, my good hand flying up to clutch his shoulder for balance. I am pressed against his chest, my face inches from the worn wool of his tunic. The heat of his body is overwhelming, a furnace that seeps through the blanket and my clothes, warming my cold skin. His scent envelops me completely, pine, earth, rain, and that dark, spicy musk that is uniquely his. It's intoxicating, disorienting. "Do not struggle," he says, his voice a low rumble that vibrates through his chest and into mine. "It will only slow us down." I am too stunned, too exhausted to argue. I am completely and utterly at his mercy, a captive in the arms of a monster. I close my eyes, focusing on the steady, powerful beat of his heart against my ear. It's a strange, terrifying comfort. He moves through the forest with an impossible speed, his feet barely seeming to touch the ground. The world becomes a blur of green and brown, the wind whipping past us. I have no idea how long we travel like this. Minutes or maybe an hour, I drift in a strange state between waking and sleeping, the pain in my shoulder a distant throb, the rhythmic motion of his stride a lulling cadence. When he finally stops, the change is so abrupt it startles me. I open my eyes. We are standing before a sheer cliff face covered in thick, tangled ivy. There is nothing here, nothing but rock and vines. He sets me down carefully on my feet, and I sway, my legs unsteady from the journey and the close contact. He places a steadying hand on my good shoulder, his touch firm but not rough. "Stay here," he commands. He walks to the cliff face, his hand tracing a pattern on the ivy. For a moment, nothing happens. Then a low hum fills the air, a vibration I feel in the soles of my feet. A section of the cliff face, indistinguishable from the rest, shimmers. The ivy seems to dissolve and the solid rock peels away, revealing a seamless, dark metal door. There is no handle, no knob, no visible lock. He places his palm flat against the surface. A soft blue light scans his hand, and with a hydraulic hiss, the door slides silently open into the darkness beyond. My jaw drops. This is not the lair of a forest-dwelling beast. This is something else entirely. He steps inside, then turns, his silhouette framed in the doorway. "Come." I hesitate, my heart pounding with a new kind of fear. The forest, with its dangers, was familiar. This is unknown. "The rogues will be here soon," he says, his voice flat. "Your choice, stay out here and face them or come inside." The choice is no choice at all. I take a shaky breath and step through the doorway. The moment I am inside, the door slides shut behind me with a decisive thud, plunging us into momentary darkness before soft, ambient lighting flickers on, illuminating a corridor that is breathtakingly modern. The walls are a polished, dark gray metal, the floor a gleaming black surface that reflects the lights. The air is cool and filtered, carrying a faint scent of ozone and clean linen. It feels like stepping onto a spaceship. "Welcome to my home," he says, his voice echoing slightly in the sterile space. He leads me down the corridor, his footsteps silent on the floor. I trail behind him, the wool blanket clutched around me, feeling like a primitive relic in this cathedral of technology. We pass doorways that slide open as we approach, revealing glimpses of rooms beyond, a vast library with floor-to-ceiling screens, a training room filled with weapons I can't begin to name, a medical bay that looks more advanced than any hospital. This is his kingdom. Not a cave, not a den, but a high-tech fortress hidden beneath the ancient forest. The contradiction is staggering. He is the Alpha King, a creature of myth and legend, but he is also a man of immense power and wealth in the human world. He finally stops in front of a doorway and gestures for me to enter. It's a bedroom, spacious and minimalist, dominated by a large bed with a dark gray coverlet. One entire wall is a single, massive screen showing a live feed of the forest outside the cliff face. "You will stay here," he says. "There are clothes in the closet. Food and drink are in the dispenser. You will not leave this room without my permission. Is that understood?" I nod, my throat too tight to speak. He gives a curt nod, his face an unreadable mask of granite, and the door slides shut, the soft hiss sealing me in. The lock doesn't click, it's a deeper, more final sound, a magnetic seal engaging. I am alone. The silence that descends is absolute, a heavy blanket broken only by the low hum of the hidden machinery that keeps this place alive. I stand frozen in the center of the room for a long moment, the blanket from the cabin still clutched around my shoulders, a pathetic scrap of the wild world against this sterile perfection. My shoulder throbs, a dull, persistent reminder of the violence that brought me here. I take a slow, deep breath, the cool, filtered air filling my lungs. It tastes clean, artificial. Nothing like the pine-scented air of the forest. My gaze sweeps the room again. It's a cage, albeit a gilded one. The bed is huge, the coverlet a soft, charcoal gray material that looks like woven shadow. The floor is so polished I can see the distorted reflection of my own disheveled form, but it's the wall-sized screen that holds my attention. It's a perfect, high-definition window into the world I've just left. I can see the exact spot where the cliff face opened, the ivy now looking completely innocent, undisturbed. The forest floor is dappled with the afternoon sun that has broken through the clouds. Birds flit between the branches, it's peaceful, deceptive. I know what lurks in those woods. I walk towards the screen, my bare feet silent on the cool floor. I press my good hand against the smooth, cool surface. It feels like glass, but there's no give, no vibration, it's just a perfect illusion. A high-tech prison yard, a shiver runs through me that has nothing to do with the cold. I need to get my bearings. First, the artifact. My hand instinctively goes to my jeans, to the small, hidden pocket I sewed into the waistband myself. It's still there, a small, hard lump against my skin. The relief that washes over me is so potent it makes my knees weak. He doesn't have it. He has me, but he doesn't have the artifact. It's the only leverage I have, the only reason I'm still alive, and it's my secret. For now, next my shoulder. The makeshift bandage is grimy and starting to itch. I turn away from the screen and approach the closet. The door slides open with a whisper, revealing a neat row of clothing. All black, all in my size. My blood runs cold. How could he possibly know my size? The thought is a violation, a glimpse into a level of surveillance and observation that is far more terrifying than any physical threat. I pull out a simple, long-sleeved shirt and a pair of soft, stretchy pants. The fabric is incredible, light but substantial, like nothing I've ever felt. I shed my own torn, bloody clothes in the rough blanket, wincing as I pull the shirt over my injured arm. The fabric is cool and soothing against my skin. I look at myself in the full-length mirror on the inside of the closet door. I look pale, haunted, a dark bruise already blooming around the makeshift bandage on my shoulder. The black clothes make me look like a ghost, a wraith haunting this metallic tomb. I find the bathroom, another marvel of minimalist design. The toilet and sink are molded from a single piece of white composite material. I carefully peel away the bandage. The wound is angry and red, but the edges are clean, the bleeding stopped. He did a good job for a monster. I wash it as best I can with the antiseptic wipes from a first aid kit I find in a drawer, then search for a new bandage. I find a small, sleek medical device. It looks like a stapler. I read the instructions on the holographic display that pops up when I pick it up. Place over wound, press button, dispenses biodegradable surgical adhesive and sterile covering. Hesitantly, I align the device over my shoulder and press the button. A sharp, cold sting, a faint hiss, and it's done. A transparent, flexible patch now covers the wound, sealing it perfectly. The pain immediately lessens. It's terrifyingly efficient. Just like him. Hunger gnaws at my stomach, a hollow ache that has been growing for hours. I find the dispenser he mentioned, a sleek panel in the wall. I touch it and a menu appears projected in the air. Nutrient paste flavor chicken, nutrient paste flavor beef, hydration solution, electrolyte balanced. My stomach turns. It sounds like dog food, but I'm starving. I select the chicken flavor. A small compartment opens, revealing a gray, unappetizing blob in a bowl. I take it, sniff it cautiously. It smells like nothing at all. I scoop a bit onto my finger and taste it. It's not bad, it's not good either. It's just sustenance, textureless, odorless, and filling. I eat the entire bowl, leaning against the wall, feeling like an animal being fed at a zoo. I wash it down with the electrolyte solution, which is faintly citrusy and surprisingly refreshing. My body feels better, stronger, but my mind is a whirlwind of chaos. I pace the room, the soft pants making no sound on the floor. I am a hacker. I deal in information in systems, in finding the cracks in the code. This place is a system, he is a system, and every system has a vulnerability. I just have to find it. The artifact is my key. But what does it do? I only know it's powerful, that it hums with a strange energy I can feel even through my clothes. I know the rogues want it and the Alpha King wants it back. He needs me. That's my crack. He brought me here for a reason, and it wasn't just for my sunny disposition. He needs my skills. The thought gives me a sliver of power, a tiny spark in the overwhelming darkness. I stop pacing and stand before the massive screen again, watching the serene forest. I am no longer just a survivor. I am a resource, a tool, and a tool can be used, but it can also be turned against its master. I don't know how long I wait. Time loses meaning in the windowless room. I could have been there for an hour or 5. I'm sitting on the edge of the bed, trying to access the room's network with my mind, cataloging potential vulnerabilities, when the door slides open without warning. I flinch, my heart leaping into my throat. He stands there, filling the doorway. He's changed. Gone is the forest-dwelling warrior in a tunic. He's dressed now in dark, tailored trousers and a black, high-collared jacket that hints at military precision. His hair is still damp from a shower, and his scent, clean and sharp, cuts through the sterile air of the room. He looks every bit the king of this high-tech fortress, ruthless, in control, and devastatingly handsome. The thought hits me like a physical blow, and I hate myself for it. "You're healed," he says. It's a statement, not a question. His eyes, the color of a stormy winter sky, sweep over me, lingering for a fraction of a second on the transparent patch on my shoulder. Mostly. My voice is barely a whisper. He steps into the room, and the space suddenly feels small, charged with his presence. He doesn't stop until he's standing directly in front of me, forcing me to crane my neck to look up at him. "I have a task for you," he says, his voice low and devoid of warmth. "A task that requires your specific talents." I swallow hard, my pulse hammering in my throat. "I'm not your personal hacker." The words are out before I can stop them, a foolish, reckless act of defiance. A flicker of something, amusement, annoyance, crosses his face before it's gone. "You are whatever I need you to be," he corrects me, his tone dropping to a dangerous register. "You are alive because you are useful, do not forget that." The threat is clear, unspoken, but hanging in the air between us. I clench my jaw, refusing to look away. "What do you want?" He turns and gestures to the empty wall beside the screen. "Computer," he says, his voice commanding. "Activate workstation." The wall shimmers and a section of it retracts, revealing a complex computer terminal that slides silently into place. It's like nothing I've ever seen. 3 curved monitors form a seamless display. The keyboard is a holographic projection of light, and the chair molds itself to the shape of my body as I hesitantly sit down. It's a hacker's dream, a hacker's nightmare. "We intercepted a communication," he explains, standing behind me, so close I can feel the heat radiating from his body. "From the rogues, it's encrypted, a level of encryption we haven't seen before. Our people can't break it." He places a data chip on the sleek surface beside the holographic keyboard. "But you will." My fingers itch to touch the keyboard, to dive into the code, to lose myself in the familiar world of logic and systems. It's a siren's call, a temptation I have to resist. "And why would I do that?" I ask, my voice steadier than I feel. "Because the message contains the names of their allies, the names of the pack members who have betrayed me." He leans down, his lips next to my ear. His breath is warm, and it sends a shiver of pure, unwanted electricity down my spine. "There is a snake in my house, little thief, a traitor feeding information to the wolves who want to destroy me, who want to destroy you." He straightens up, his presence a heavy weight on my shoulders. "You help me find the mole, and I help you stay alive. You find me the names in that message, and I will consider your debt paid. You will be free to go." The offer hangs in the air, glittering and false. Freedom. It's a word I once knew, a concept I barely remember. I don't believe him for a second. A man like this doesn't let go of his assets. But what choice do I have? I am trapped in his fortress, hunted by his enemies. My only path forward is the one he's just laid out. "How do I know you'll keep your word?" I ask, turning in the chair to face him. His expression is cold, implacable. "You don't," he says, "but it's the only chance you have. Now get to work." He turns and walks towards the door. Wait, I call out. He pauses, his hand on the frame, and looks back at me, one eyebrow raised in question. The artifact, I say, my heart pounding. What about it? A slow, predatory smile touches his lips, the first genuine expression I've seen from him. It doesn't reach his eyes. It's safe where it is, he says, for now. The door hisses shut, the sound a final, definitive punctuation mark on our conversation. The silence that follows is a physical weight pressing in on me from all sides. I'm alone, truly alone for the first time since I stole the artifact. Alone with the ghost of his scent, the chilling promise of freedom, and a terminal that represents both my greatest skill and my most likely tomb. I sit in the molded chair, its surface still warm from my body, and stare at the data chip. It's a small, black rectangle, innocuous looking, but it holds the key to everything. To my survival, to his, to the name of the traitor lurking in his pack. My fingers tremble as I pick it up. I hate this tremor. I hate the fear that has become a constant companion, a cold knot in my gut. I am a creature of logic and precision. Fear is an illogical, messy variable. I take a deep breath, the sterile air of the room doing little to calm my racing heart. I slide the chip into a port that materializes from the seamless surface of the desk. The 3 curved monitors flicker to life, not with a simple interface, but with a swirling vortex of deep crimson and black. It's the encryption. It's not just code, it's alive. It moves like a slow-motion galaxy, with shards of data breaking off and reforming, creating patterns that are both mesmerizing and nauseating. It's beautiful and terrifying. This is no standard military-grade cipher. This is something else. Something ancient and wild given a digital form. For a moment, I'm paralyzed. This is beyond anything I've ever faced. My skills, which I've honed in the shadowy corners of the digital world, feel like a child's crayon drawing next to this masterpiece of malicious art. You will. His words echo in my mind, not as a command, but as a challenge. He believes I can do this. The thought is absurd, but it's also a spark. He, the ruthless Alpha King, sees something in me. A tool, yes, but a sharp one, a useful one. I can't let him down. I can't let myself down. My hands stop shaking. I place my fingers on the holographic keyboard. The light solidifies under my touch, cool and responsive. This is my world. The chaos of the real world with its fangs and claws and blood-soaked alleys falls away. Here there is only logic, there are rules, and every rule can be bent, broken. I close my eyes, forcing myself to remember the alleyway. The coppery tang of blood in the air. The guttural snarls of the rogues, the sight of them tearing through those other wolves, their fur matted with gore. I remember the terror, pure and paralyzing, as I hid behind a dumpster, the artifact clutched in my hand like a talisman. It hummed then, too, a low, frantic thrum against my palm. And then he appeared, the Alpha King, not as a man but as a force of nature, a blur of black fur and lethal intent. He moved with a speed that defied physics, a whirlwind of controlled violence that ended the massacre in seconds. He was death, beautiful and terrifying, and his eyes, when they found me, they weren't human. They burned with a golden fire that saw right through me, past the grime and the fear, to the artifact in my hand. The memory is so vivid I can almost smell the rain on the pavement and the blood. I open my eyes, the image seared into my mind. I'm not just decrypting a message. I'm trying to understand the world that created that alleyway, the world that created him. I dive in, my fingers fly across the holographic keys, constructing digital labyrinths and logic bombs. I throw everything I have at the swirling vortex. Probes, sniffers, brute force attacks that would crack a government server in minutes. They all shatter against the encryption, absorbed into its crimson depths without a trace. It's like throwing pebbles into a black hole. Hours bleed into one another. The nutrient paste is a distant memory, a bland fuel for a machine that is running on pure adrenaline and focus. The forest on the massive screen cycles through day and night, the moon rising full and silver over the ancient trees. A full moon, of course. I try a different approach. I stop attacking and start observing. I look for the rhythm, the pattern within the chaos. The creator of this code is arrogant. They believe it's unbreakable, and arrogant people always leave a signature, a tiny flaw, a tell. I slow the data stream down, isolating a single shard of crimson code. I watch it as it breaks apart and reforms. There, a flicker, a microsecond delay in the reformation, a single pixel of black that doesn't quite fit. It's so small, so insignificant that no automated system would ever catch it. But I do, it's the heartbeat. The code has a heartbeat. I build a program designed to track that heartbeat, to map its rhythm. It's like trying to record the pulse of a ghost. The monitor fills with lines of cascading data, a digital EKG for the monster in the machine. I see it now. The pattern isn't in the formation of the code, but in the pauses between the formations, the silence. The spaces between the notes, that's where the message is hidden. It's genius, it's maddening. I follow the trail of silence, using the heartbeat as my guide. I weave a new key, not one of force, but of resonance. A key that doesn't try to break the lock, but sings to it, matching its frequency. I feed the key into the vortex. For a long moment, nothing happens. The crimson and black continue to swirl. I hold my breath, my heart pounding a frantic rhythm against my ribs. Did I misread it? Was it just a trick? Then the vortex slows, the swirling ceases. The crimson shards of code stop moving, hanging in the digital air like drops of blood. Then one by one they begin to fall, dissolving before they hit the bottom of the screen. The blackness recedes, replaced by stark, white text on a simple gray background. It's done. I lean back in the chair, a wave of exhaustion so profound it makes me dizzy washing over me. I did it. I actually did it. I squint at the screen, my eyes dry and aching. The message is short, deceptively simple. The serpent stirs at the roots of the old oak. The shadow of the fallen star will guide the claw. When the moon is full, the king's blood will water the sacred soil. The alpha will fall. No names, not a single one. He asked for the names of the traitors. This message doesn't name them. It's a prophecy, a threat. It talks about a serpent at the roots of an old oak, a clear metaphor for the traitor. A shadow of a fallen star guiding the claw may be a specific person or a time, and the final line is a direct declaration of war. They're going to make their move during the full moon ritual, the one I can see happening on the screen behind me. Panic, cold and sharp, pierces through my exhaustion. This is not what he wanted. He wanted a list, a simple solution to his snake problem. I've given him a riddle and a death threat. He'll think I failed, or worse, he'll think I'm hiding something, that I'm part of it. My mind races, weighing the options. I could lie. I could tell him the encryption was a dead end, that I need more time, but he'd see through that. His eyes missed nothing. I could try to invent some names, but that's a suicide mission. He'd probably have a way to verify them, and I'd be exposed as a liar. The only option is the truth, the whole, terrifying, inconvenient truth. I have to tell him that his enemies aren't just a few disgruntled pack members. They're organized, they're coming for him during his most sacred ritual, and they have a plan. A wave of something I don't want to name washes over me. It's not fear, it's concern. The image of him in the alleyway, a lone warrior against a pack of savages, flashes in my mind. He's powerful, yes, but he's not invincible. This message proves it. He has a weakness. They've found it. The hiss of the door is the only warning I get. I jump, my heart lurching into my throat. He stands there just as he did before, filling the doorway with his imposing presence. He hasn't changed, but the air between us has. It's thicker, charged with the information I now possess. His storm gray eyes sweep over me, taking in my disheveled state, the dark circles under my eyes, the way I'm gripping the arms of the chair. "Well," he asks, his voice a low rumble that vibrates through the floor and up my spine. He steps into the room, his gaze moving from me to the screen behind me. He reads the short, stark message. His face gives nothing away. It's a mask of cold, hard stone, but I feel it, a shift in the air, a sudden, predatory stillness that is far more frightening than any show of anger. "I asked for names," he says, his voice dangerously quiet. He turns his full attention back to me, and I feel like a mouse pinned by a hawk. "There are no names," I say, my voice shaking despite my best efforts to keep it steady. "It's not a list, it's a threat." I push myself out of the chair, my legs unsteady. I have to make him understand. The encryption was a shield, but it was also a map. The message is hidden in the code's rhythm. It's a prophecy, a declaration of their plan. I point a trembling finger at the screen. "They're coming for you at the ritual, the full moon. The king's blood will water the sacred soil. They mean to kill you." He doesn't move, he doesn't even blink. He just watches me. The silence stretches, thin and sharp, a wire pulled taut to the breaking point. I can hear the low hum of the servers, the frantic thrum of my own blood in my ears. Every second he stands there unmoving is a testament to his control. A lesser man would be roaring, smashing things, demanding answers I don't have. He just watches, and in that watching I feel stripped bare, my thoughts, my fears, my flicker of concern for him, all laid out on a slab for his dissection. "Prophecy," he repeats, his voice devoid of inflection. He takes a slow step forward, then another, circling the chair I just vacated. He's a shark scenting blood in the water, and I'm the one bleeding. "You expect me to risk my pack on a ghost story, a riddle written by a coward too afraid to sign his own name?" "It's not a ghost story," I insist, forcing my voice to be stronger than I feel. I turn to follow his movement, unwilling to show him my back. The code was real, the threat is real. They're using archaic language, but the intent is modern warfare, asymmetrical, psychological. They want you to dismiss it as nonsense. He stops behind the chair, his hands resting on the high back. The leather creaks under his grip. "And what of the artifact, the reason you are here? Does this prophecy mention it?" The question throws me. I was so focused on the threat to him, I hadn't even considered that. "No," I admit, the word tasting like failure. "It doesn't." "But the artifact is the catalyst. It's what started all this. The rogues want it. Maybe they believe it will give them the power to fulfill this prophecy. Or perhaps," he says, his voice dropping to a low, dangerous murmur, "this entire message is a fabrication. A clever misdirection created by the real traitor to send me chasing shadows in the forest while they make their true move elsewhere. Perhaps the traitor is closer than I think." He lifts his gaze from the chair to me, and the accusation in his eyes is a physical blow. He's testing me again, always testing. You think I wrote it? The question is a whisper laced with disbelief and a spark of anger. I think you are a survivor, he counters, his tone smooth as polished steel. Survivors do what is necessary. You survived a massacre. You stole an artifact you knew was powerful. You have skills that make you either a great asset or a tremendous threat. It would be foolish of me not to consider every possibility. He moves from behind the chair, closing the distance between us in a single, fluid stride. I instinctively take a step back, but my heel hits the base of the console. I'm trapped. He stops just inches from me, the sheer heat of his body washing over me. He smells of ozone, rain, and something wild and ancient like the forest on the screen behind him. I have to tilt my head back to meet his eyes, and the storm gray I saw before is now churning with a darker, more volatile emotion. So decrypt this for me, little hacker, he says, the endearment a mockery, a brand. If this is real, give me something I can use, not poetry, a strategy. Who is the serpent? Who is the fallen star? Tell me what your brilliant mind sees when you look at those words. My mind is a whirlwind, but his proximity is a strange, calming anchor. The fear is still there, a low hum under my skin, but it's mixed with something else. A fierce, exhilarating pulse. He's not dismissing me, he's challenging me, he's asking for my analysis, my intellect. He sees past the thief and the witness to the hacker. This is my language. The serpent is the obvious one, I say, my voice finding a new strength. A symbol of betrayal, of a hidden enemy striking from the roots. The old oak is your pack, your lineage, the foundation. The traitor is someone deep inside your trust, someone who has been there for a long time, feeding poison from below. His eyes narrow, but he doesn't interrupt. He's listening, really listening. The fallen star is more obscure. It could be a person who was cast out, someone who lost their position, or it could be an event, a past battle, a historical tragedy that cast a shadow over the pack. The claw is their assassin, their champion, the one who will wield the blade. I pause, my gaze flickering to his throat, to the strong, steady pulse beating there. And the final line, the king's blood will water the sacred soil. That's not just a threat, it's a statement of intent. They don't just want to defeat you, they want to desecrate what you are. The ritual is sacred. To spill your blood there in front of the pack and the moon, it's the ultimate act of sacrilege. It's meant to break them, not just kill you. The silence that follows my analysis is different. It's not the empty, waiting silence from before. It's heavy, charged. He's processing my words, turning them over, examining them from every angle. I can practically see the strategic grid forming behind his eyes. You see more than most, he says, his voice a low rumble that seems to vibrate directly into my bones. They see a pawn, a thief, they don't see the queen on the board. The compliment, so unexpected, sends a jolt through me. My breath hitches. He lifts a hand and I flinch, expecting a blow or a cruel grip, but his fingers don't strike. They gently brush a stray strand of hair away from my cheek, the calloused pad of his thumb tracing the line of my jaw. The touch is electric, a spark of pure raw energy that sets my nerve endings alight. I freeze, my entire world shrinking to the point of contact. His skin is hot, his touch possessive. You're right, he says, his voice softer now, a private confession meant only for me. I've suspected a rot in the roots for months. Whispers, disappearances I couldn't officially investigate. This message, it doesn't surprise me, it only confirms my suspicions and gives me a date for the reckoning. He lets his hand fall away, and the sudden loss of his touch is a physical ache. I feel cold, bereft. He turns and walks toward the massive screen displaying the moonlit forest. They think I am a brute, a simple king who relies on strength and fear. They believe I will walk into their trap, blinded by tradition and pride. He looks at the image of the ancient glade, his reflection a dark silhouette against the silver light. They are wrong. He turns back to me, and the predator is back in his eyes, but it's sharper now, more focused. The cold, calculating general has returned. You will come with me to the ritual. It's not a request, it's a command. What? I stammer. No, that's insane. I'm not one of you. I have no place there. You have the only place that matters, he counters, his tone leaving no room for argument. You decoded their message. You understand their thinking. You are my secret weapon. They will be looking for an army, for a show of force. They will not be looking for a human girl with a laptop. He gestures to the screen. The artifact is the bait. They will come for it, and we will be waiting, but we will be waiting on our terms. Panic claws at my throat. They'll kill me. I'm the one who stole their prize. I'm the reason you know about their plan. They will have to get through me first, he says, the words spoken with such absolute certainty that they quell the rising tide of my fear. And no one gets through me. You are under my protection now. You are mine. The last two words hang in the air, a claim more binding than any chain. Mine, it should terrify me. It should make me run for the door and never look back. But a dark, treacherous part of me, a part I didn't know existed until this moment, thrills at the possession, at the promise of safety in the eye of the hurricane. Why? I ask, my voice barely audible. Why protect me? I'm nothing to you. He takes a step toward me again, his expression unreadable. You are the key that unlocked this door. You are the architect of their undoing, and you, he hesitates, a flicker of something unreadable in the storm of his eyes. You were in that alleyway. You saw what I am and you are still here. You did not run, you did not crumble, you fought back with the only weapon you had. He stops in front of me, his gaze intense, searching. That is not nothing. He reaches out again, but this time his hand closes around my arm, his grip firm but not painful. It's a shackle and a lifeline all at once. The full moon is tomorrow night. We leave at dusk. Get whatever rest you can. You will need it. He pulls me gently but inexorably toward the door. My mind is reeling, trying to process the whirlwind of events. I went from prisoner to asset to his. Wait, I say, digging my heels in. The artifact, what about it? He pauses at the door, looking down at me, a faint, almost imperceptible smile touching his lips. It doesn't reach his eyes, but it transforms his face, making him devastatingly handsome. Oh, they'll get the artifact, he says, his voice a low, purring promise of violence. I'm going to hand it to them myself. Right before I rip their serpent from its roots and crush its skull. The hiss of the door opens behind him, revealing the sterile white corridor. He gives me a little push, not unkindly, propelling me out of the command center and into the unknown. I stumble slightly, turning to face him one last time. Get some rest, he repeats, his eyes already hardening, his mind already on the battle to come. The real work is about to begin. The door slides shut, leaving me alone in the silent hallway, the echo of his words and the phantom sensation of his touch on my skin. I'm not his prisoner anymore, I'm his weapon. And as the reality of it sinks in, a terrifying, exhilarating thought takes root. I'm not just a weapon for him to wield, I'm going to the heart of his world, I'm going to the ritual. And for the first time since I stole that artifact, I don't feel like a victim of circumstance. I feel like a player in a game I am only just beginning to understand, and I have no intention of losing. The sterile white corridor feels like a vacuum, sucking the sound and the warmth from the air. I stand there for a long moment, the phantom pressure of his grip on my arm a brand against my skin. Mine. The word echoes in the sudden silence of my own mind, a counterpoint to the frantic thrum of my heart. I am not his prisoner, I am his weapon. The distinction is razor-thin, a line drawn in blood and shadow, but it's there. And for the first time I feel the power in it. I turn and walk, my steps no longer hesitant but purposeful. I don't know where I'm going, but my feet seem to remember the way back to the room he first gave me, the gilded cage. The door slides open at my approach, a silent, obedient servant. I step inside and the atmosphere has changed. Or maybe I have. The luxurious bed no longer looks like a trap. The panoramic view of the city's neon arteries isn't a reminder of the world I've lost, it's a map of the territory he rules. And I am now a piece on his board. I strip off the soft, expensive clothes he provided, the fabric feeling like a lie. I'm not some delicate thing to be dressed in silk. I'm a survivor, I'm a hacker. I pull on my own clothes from the small pack they'd taken from me, black combat boots, dark jeans, and a simple, long-sleeved black shirt. It's my uniform, my armor. As I tie the laces on my boots, a sense of clarity settles over me, sharp and cold as a shard of glass. He's using me, I know that, but I am also using him. His protection is the only thing standing between me and the rogues who want the artifact I stole. His world is the only place I might be safe. For now, I cross to the sleek glass desk, my fingers hovering over the embedded console. A test. I try to activate it to sink back into the familiar comfort of code and data streams. Nothing. The screen remains black, inert. He's locked me out. A flicker of annoyance, hot and sharp, goes through me. He trusts my mind to decipher his enemy's plans, but not enough to give me unrestricted access to his world. Fair enough, he's the Alpha King. He didn't get his reputation by being careless. The hours crawl by. I don't sleep. I can't. My mind is too busy, replaying every moment, every word, every touch, the way his thumb traced my jawline. The possessive certainty in his voice when he said, "You are mine," it's a terrifying, intoxicating thought, to be claimed by someone so powerful, so dangerous. It's the ultimate security and the ultimate prison all rolled into one. As dusk begins to bleed purple and orange across the sky, the door slides open. He stands there, filling the frame, and the air in the room thickens, crackles with an energy that is purely, undeniably him. He's changed. Gone is the bespoke suit, the facade of the civilized CEO. He's dressed for war. Black, fatigue-style pants are tucked into scuffed, heavy combat boots. A dark, fitted long-sleeve shirt shows the powerful lines of his chest and arms, and over it he wears a worn leather jacket that looks like it's seen more battles than I've had hot dinners. A weapon is holstered at his hip, not a sleek, modern pistol, but something older, heavier, a brutal-looking handgun that looks like it could stop a truck. His hair is slightly unkempt, and his eyes. They are the pale, predatory silver of a wolf under a hunter's moon. He is the Alpha King, not the businessman, not the captor. The king, his gaze sweeps over me, taking in my combat-ready attire. A flicker of something approval maybe crosses his face before being masked by his usual stoicism. "Good," he says, his voice a low rumble. "You look like you belong." "I don't," I reply, my voice steady, "but I look like I can survive. That's all that matters." He gestures into the corridor. It's time. I follow him, my boots silent on the floor compared to the heavy, confident tread of his. We take a different route this time, down a ramp into a subterranean garage that smells of oil and cold metal. Parked in the center of the concrete space is a vehicle, a massive, black SUV that looks like it's been armored-plated and retrofitted with enough technology to be a stealth fighter. Its windows are tinted black, and it sits low to the ground on heavy-duty tires, a beast of metal and wire. He opens the passenger door for me, a gesture so incongruously gentlemanly it throws me off balance for a second. I climb in, sinking into plush leather seats as he slides behind the wheel. The engine starts with a near-silent hum and the garage door opens not onto the city streets but into a dark, winding tunnel. We drive in silence for a long time. The city is a world away. The only light comes from the soft glow of the dashboard, painting his sharp profile in shades of blue and silver. He's focused, his hands gripping the wheel, his knuckles white. The air in the car is thick with unspoken things, with the weight of what's to come. I can feel the low thrum of his power, a constant, vibrating presence that makes my own skin feel too tight. It's a primal energy, the scent of pine and ozone and something wilder, something that is uniquely him. It's intoxicating. The ritual is called the unveiling, he says suddenly, his voice breaking the heavy quiet. A remnant of an older time, a night when the pack sheds its human skin and stands before the moon as one. It reaffirms our bonds, our loyalty to the pack and to me. I turn my head to look at him, and you do this every full moon, only the winter solstice moon, the longest night of the year. It's when our power is at its peak and our connection to the sacred soil is strongest. He glances at me, his silver eyes flashing in the dim light. It's also when we are most vulnerable. The pack is open, exposed. Their minds are linked to mine, to the pack's collective consciousness. A strong enough blow, a shock of betrayal at the right moment, it could shatter them. My blood runs cold. That's what the message meant. The king's blood will water the sacred soil. They're not just going to attack you, they're going to do it when you're all connected. Exactly, he says, a grim satisfaction in his tone. They think they know our traditions. They think they know our weaknesses. They believe I will stand on the central stone, exposed as is custom. They think they will have a clear shot. He reaches into a compartment between the seats and pulls out a small, slender object. It looks like a high-tech pen. He presses it into my hand. My fingers close around it. It's cool and smooth metal. What is this? A comm unit and a scanner, he says, his eyes back on the dark road ahead. It's linked directly to my system. It won't give you access to the main network, but it will allow you to monitor the energy signatures of everyone in the glade. Every werewolf has a unique biofrequency. A lie, a spike of murderous intent. It will show up as a distortion, a red flag. I stare at the device in my palm. He's arming me, not with a gun but with information, with my own kind of weapon. You want me to find the mole, I breathe. I want you to be my eyes in a way no one else can be, he corrects. My pack is strong, but they are wolves. They think in terms of scent and strength. They will be looking for a physical threat. You think in terms of data, of anomalies. You will see the threat before it even materializes. The trust this implies is staggering. It's not the trust of a friend, but the trust of a general in his most specialized, most valuable piece of artillery. Why me? I ask, the question slipping out before I can stop it. You could have anyone do this, one of your own. He's quiet for a moment, the only sound the hum of the tires on the asphalt of a now deserted country road. Because you are not one of my own, he says finally. You have no allegiance to anyone in that pack. You have no old grudges, no hidden loyalties. Your only loyalty for now is to your own survival, and that makes you the only person in that glade whose signal I can trust to be pure. It's a brutal, honest answer, and it's the truth. I am an outsider, a blank slate. And in a world of ancient feuds and tangled loyalties, that is my greatest strength. The tunnel eventually opens up, and we emerge onto a dirt road cutting through a dense, ancient forest. The air that floods the car is cold, clean, and smells of damp earth, decaying leaves, and the sharp, green scent of pine. The moon, huge and impossibly bright, hangs low in the sky, bathing the world in a silvery, ethereal light. This is his world. I feel it instantly. The oppressive silence, the sense of being watched by 1,000 unseen eyes. The city feels like a dream I had once. He drives deeper into the woods, the SUV navigating the rough terrain with an impossible ease. Finally, we stop in a small clearing. He kills the engine. From here we walk, he says, his voice barely a whisper, yet it carries in the unnatural stillness of the woods. He kills the SUV's internal lights, plunging us into a world painted solely in silver and shadow. The moon is an alien, watchful eye above the canopy. I open my door, the sound a loud violation in the quiet, and the cold air hits me like a physical blow, sharp and clean, smelling of ancient things. He's already out, moving with a liquid grace that is utterly inhuman. He doesn't look back, trusting I will follow. I do. The ground is soft and uneven beneath my boots, a carpet of damp leaves and hidden roots. The forest is a cathedral of towering, gnarled trees, their branches like skeletal fingers clawing at the sky. Every snap of a twig under my foot sounds like a gunshot. I force my breathing to be slow, to be quiet, falling into the rhythm of a hunter, a rhythm he taught me without a word. Shadows move at the edges of my vision, not just the shifting of leaves in the wind, but the deliberate, silent motion of shapes detaching themselves from the darkness. They emerge one by one, then in pairs, coalescing from the trees like wraiths, werewolves. Not the snarling beasts of horror movies, but men and women in various states of dress, all sharing the same predatory stillness, the same focused intensity in their eyes. They nod to the Alpha King, a subtle dip of the chin that is both respect and submission. Their gazes slide over me, and I feel the weight of their collective suspicion. I am an anomaly, a sour note in their sacred symphony. A human, a stranger, the thief who holds their king's attention. One woman, tall with a severe, white-blonde braid, lets out a low, almost inaudible growl as I pass. The Alpha King doesn't turn, but his hand shoots out, fingers wrapping around my bicep. The touch is proprietary, a brand of heat in the cold night. It's not gentle, but it's not cruel. It's a statement. Mine. The growl cuts off instantly. The message is received. He leads us deeper, and the forest opens up into a vast, circular glade. It's breathtaking. The moon hangs directly above, flooding the space with so much light the ground seems to glow. In the exact center stands a massive, flat-topped stone, dark and smooth, worn by centuries of wind and rain. It looks like an altar. The pack members move with a practiced, reverent purpose, forming a wide, loose circle around the central stone. They shed their human affectations, their movements becoming more fluid, more animalistic. Some stretch, their bodies contorting in ways that would break a normal human's spine. Others simply stand, heads tilted back, bathing in the moonlight as if drinking it in. The energy here is a palpable thing, a low, resonant hum that vibrates up through the soles of my boots and into my bones. It's wild and terrifying and beautiful. The Alpha King releases my arm and points to a dense thicket of ancient, thorn-covered brambles that presses up against the base of a colossal oak tree. There, he murmurs, his voice a low vibration that I feel more than hear. You will be hidden, you will be safe. Do not move, do not make a sound unless I give the signal. Understand, I nod, my throat too tight to form words. His silver eyes hold mine for a fraction of a second longer, and in them I see a flicker of something that isn't ruthlessness. It's a heavy, grim responsibility. Then he turns and strides toward the center of the glade, leaving me alone in the oppressive silence. I scramble into the thicket, the thorns snagging my clothes and pulling at my hair. It's a tight fit, the branches forming a natural cage around me, but it offers a perfect, screened view of the entire clearing. I settle onto my cold, damp haunches, pulling the device from my pocket. My thumb finds a small indentation on its smooth surface. I press it. A holographic screen, no bigger than my palm, shimmers into existence above the device. It's a top-down, thermal-like map of the glade, rendered in shades of blue and silver. Dozens of figures are represented as glowing humanoid shapes. They are all a calm, steady blue, their energy signatures placid. In the very center of the map, a single figure blazes like a small, captured star. The Alpha King. His energy is a brilliant, pulsating white, so bright it makes the others look like faint embers. As I watch, thin, shimmering threads of light extend from each of the blue figures, connecting them all to the central white sun. The pack consciousness, it's real, I can see it. The air in the glade grows heavy, thick with an unseen power. The Alpha King steps onto the flat-topped stone, his silhouette stark against the moon. He doesn't speak at first. He simply raises his arms, his head tilted back to the sky. The pack responds as one, a collective, shuddering breath that sounds like the wind through 1,000 leaves. Their bodies relax, their postures softening as they surrender to the pull of the moon and their alpha. My gaze darts back to the scanner. The blue auras of the pack are deepening, darkening, becoming a more profound, tranquil sapphire. The threads connecting them to the Alpha King thicken, glowing brighter. It's a beautiful, terrifying display of absolute unity and absolute vulnerability. My heart hammers against my ribs. They are open, exposed, just as he said. I begin my sweep, my eyes flickering between the real-world scene and the holographic map in my hand. I move the scanner slowly, panning across each pack member one by one. I look for what he told me to look for, a distortion, a flicker, a lie, a spike of murderous intent disguised as serene blue. For a long moment there is nothing, only the serene, unified field of sapphire light. The Alpha King begins to chant, his voice a low, resonant baritone that seems to make the very ground vibrate. The words are ancient, guttural, a language that has no place in the modern world. It's the language of earth and moon, of tooth and claw. My focus is absolute. I am no longer a terrified human in a forest of monsters. I am a system administrator looking for a corrupted file. I'm a hunter scanning for a single faulty heartbeat in a herd of thousands. I scan the white blonde woman. Her signature is a deep, resentful indigo, but it's stable, loyal if unhappy. I scan a hulking man near the edge of the circle. His energy is a solid, dependable blue. I scan them all. My finger traces the edge of the device, my knuckles white. Nothing. Am I wrong? Is the message a decoy? Or is the mole so powerful, so disciplined, they can mask their intent even from this? Then I see it. It's not a flash of red. It's not a flash of red, it's a void, a perfect, absolute sphere of nothingness in the shimmering tapestry of the pack's consciousness. It's a hole punched through the real.